Stage 1. Still gambling. You wake up and check your phone before your eyes adjust. Not for messages, for lines, scores, odds. The app loads faster than anything else on your phone because you open it more than anything else on your phone. You check what hit overnight. You check what's coming today. You scroll through slips and parlays and futures, and your brain is already doing math before you've had water. You shower and think about the bet you placed last night. You get dressed and check the odds again. They moved. You wonder if you should add to it or hedge. You eat breakfast or you skip it. It doesn't matter because your stomach is running on adrenaline, not food. At work, you check your phone under the desk. You check it in the bathroom. You check it at lunch. A game tips off at noon, and you placed a unit on the spread, and now you're watching a score ticker instead of doing your job. It hits, and you feel a rush that makes the whole morning worth it. It doesn't hit, and you feel a hole open in your chest, and you immediately start looking for the next bet to fill it. You chase. You always chase. A loss doesn't end the day. It starts a new plan. You tell yourself you'll make it back tonight. You double down. You parlay 3 legs because the payout covers yesterday's damage. You deposit more money into the app. You've memorized the process. Bank to app in under a minute. You don't track your total losses. You remember the wins in detail and blur the losses into a fog you don't look at. You tell people about the nights you were up. You don't mention the weeks you were down. You spend money you planned for rent, for groceries, for a bill that's already late. You move money between accounts to cover it and tell yourself it's temporary. You lie about where the money went. You say you bought something. You say you loaned it to a friend. The lies come easy now because you've practiced them. At night, you scroll the next day's card and set your lines. You fall asleep. With the app open, your screen time report would scare you if you looked at it. You don't look at it. You set your alarm and your brain is already calculating tomorrow's action before your eyes close. Stage 2. The last bet. You decide to stop. Something broke through. A bank account that hit zero. A credit card maxed out on deposits. A loan you took to cover a loss you told no one about. A moment where you checked your balance and felt your chest cave in. You sit with the number. The real number. Not the wins minus losses you tell yourself. The actual total you've put in. You feel sick. You delete the app. Then you re-download it an hour later to check a pending bet. Then you delete it again. You block the sites on your browser. You self-exclude from the sportsbook. The process takes 5 minutes and feels like cutting off a limb. You tell someone. A friend, a partner, a counselor. You say the number out loud and it sounds worse in the air than it did in your head. They don't react the way you feared. Or they do, and you sit with that too. You cancel the last pending bet or you let it ride because it's already placed. It hits or it doesn't. Either way, it's the last one. You go to bed with no action on the board for the first time in months, maybe years. The quiet is deafening. Your phone has nothing to check. Your brain keeps refreshing anyway, looking for a screen that isn't there. You lie in the dark and feel the weight of every dollar you burned and every lie you told to keep burning them. You set your alarm and try to sleep. Your mind won't stop running numbers. Stage 3, the first week. You wake up and reach for your phone and there's nothing to check. No lines, no scores, no slips. The absence is physical. Your morning had a rhythm, and now the rhythm is gone. You drink coffee and your brain scans for action. A game is on tonight and you know the spread without looking it up because the numbers are still living in your head. You go to work and the day feels flat. Not bad. Flat. The highs and lows of gambling gave every day a shape, and now the shape is gone. You feel bored in a way that scares you because boredom is the thing that always sent you back. You scroll social media, and the algorithm still serves you betting content. Picks, parlays, someone flexing a winning ticket. You mute accounts, you block hashtags, you still see it. At lunch, someone at work mentions a game, and you feel it pull. You change the subject, you eat and taste nothing. Your mood swings. 1 hour, you feel free. The next hour, you feel like you lost the only thing that made you feel something. You count the money you would have spent today. 20, 50, 100. You leave it in your account and stare at the number. You go home and the evening stretches. No games to sweat, no live bets to track. You sit on the couch and don't know what to do with your hands or your attention. You try watching a game clean and it feels hollow. The score doesn't matter the way it used to because nothing is riding on it. You turn it off. You go to bed early because there's no reason to stay up. Your brain is restless. It wants action. You give it nothing and lie there until sleep comes. Stage 4, weeks 2 and 3. You wake up and the urge is still there, but it's slower. It doesn't hit before your feet touch the floor anymore. It waits until you're bored or stressed or scrolling. You start to notice your triggers. Friday nights, lunch breaks, commercial breaks during a game, the group chat where your friends share pics. Mute the chat. You feel like you're cutting off a social circle, but you know the circle was built around the thing that's destroying you. Eat better because you're not skipping meals to watch a game. You cook something simple and sit at the table instead of eating over your phone. You start tracking your finances for the first time in months. You open a spreadsheet or an app and plug in the real number. Credit card balance, savings, debt. The picture is bad, but it's clear, and clarity is better than the fog you were living in. You make a minimum payment on something you'd been ignoring. You set up autopay so the next one doesn't slip. You still think about gambling every day. You see a highlight and your brain instantly generates a line. You hear an injury report and calculate what it does to the spread. The knowledge is stuck in your head like a language you can't unlearn, but you don't act on it. You sit through the impulse and let it pass. Some days it passes fast. Some days it lingers through dinner. You start going to a meeting or talking to a counselor. You sit in a room with people who understand the exact feeling of watching a fourth quarter collapse take your rent money. You don't say much at first. You listen. You recognize yourself in every story. Stage 5, month 1. You wake up and your phone is just a phone. You check the weather. You check your messages. You don't check odds. The morning feels ordinary, and ordinary feels strange because your mornings used to be electric with anticipation. You miss it. You're allowed to miss it. Missing it doesn't mean you go back. You start filling the hours that gambling used to occupy. You go to the gym. You read. You take walks that have no destination. You fix things around the house you've been ignoring. The busyness is deliberate because idle time is dangerous. You do the money math. 1 month of no deposits, no losses, no chasing. The number you saved isn't huge, but it's positive for the first time in a long time. You put it toward a bill or a debt payment, and it feels like the opposite of what gambling felt like. Slow, quiet, and real. Your relationships start to shift. You tell someone else the truth. It gets easier each time, not because the shame shrinks, but because hiding it was heavier than saying it. Your partner starts to trust small things again. You say you'll be somewhere and you're there. You say you'll handle a bill and you handle it. Trust rebuilds in inches. You watch a game for the first time without any money on it. The game is fine. It's not boring. It's just different. You realize you used to watch sports through a slot machine and now you're watching it through your own eyes. You still get the impulse. A bad day at work, a fight at home, an empty Saturday night. Your brain whispers that one small bet would fill the gap. You hear it and you don't argue with it. You just don't open the app. The app isn't there. You deleted it and this time you didn't re-download. Stage 6, months 2 through 6. You stop counting days. You start rebuilding. The financial damage becomes a project instead of a shame spiral. You sit down with your debt and make a plan. Minimums here, extra payments there. You sell something you don't need. You pick up a side gig or extra hours. The money doesn't come fast, but it comes steady, and steady is something you forgot existed. You notice your attention span returning. You read a full chapter. You watch a full movie without checking your phone. You hold a conversation without your mind calculating odds in the background. Your brain is quieter. Not silent, quieter. You learn what your actual hobbies are. Not the things you did between bets, but the things you actually enjoy. Cooking, lifting, fishing, building something, playing music. You spend time on them and the return is slower than a winning bet, but it doesn't evaporate at midnight. Your sleep improves. You fall asleep without your brain running lines. You don't dream about parlays anymore. You wake up rested in a way you forgot was possible. You hit a rough patch, a bill you forgot about, a car repair, a financial gut punch that the old you would have tried to gamble your way out of. You sit with the stress and you solve it the slow way. Payment plan. Over time. Patience. It works. It takes longer, but it works, and nothing about it is a lie. You go to a casino with friends and feel the pull the moment you walk in. The sounds, the lights, the energy. Your hands twitch. You walk through without stopping. You eat dinner and drive home and sit in your car for a minute and breathe. You recognize how close the edge still is. That recognition keeps you safe. Stage 7. The first year. You wake up and gambling is not part of your day. It's part of your past. Games are on and you watch them clean. A friend talks about a bet he placed and you feel a flicker and nothing more. You don't lecture him. You don't envy him. You just know what it costs and the price isn't worth it for you anymore. Your finances are different. Not perfect, but honest. You have a budget you follow. You have a savings account with money that stays. You pay bills on time. You check your credit score and it's moving in the right direction. The number that used to make you sick is getting smaller every month. Your relationships are stronger. People trust you again because you've been consistent for long enough that consistency became the proof. You kept promises. You showed up. You stopped lying about where the money went because the money goes where you say it goes now. You hit your 1 year mark and it's quiet. No celebration. Maybe a meeting where someone shakes your hand. Maybe a journal entry. Maybe just a moment in your car where you do the math on what you would have lost in the last 12 months and you feel the number hit you in the chest. That number is still in your account. That number is your life now. You know the door is still there. You know how easy it is to download an app and deposit and feel that first rush again. You know it would take less than 5 minutes to undo a year. You also know what 5 minutes cost you before. You close your eyes and you don't open the door. Stage 8. After gambling. You don't think about it. Not during games, not during bad weeks, not during windfalls. The urge is gone. Not suppressed. Gone. Your brain stops scanning for edges and lines and angles. It scans for groceries and deadlines and weekend plans. You live in a body that is no longer running on adrenaline and cortisol and the constant math of risk and reward. Your resting heart rate dropped. Your sleep is deep. Your appetite is normal. You eat meals at a table instead of over a screen. You are debt-free or close to it. You rebuilt what you broke, and the rebuilding took longer than the breaking, but it held. You have savings. You have a budget. You have a plan that stretches past Friday. You watch a game, and it's just a game. 2 teams, a score, a result. It doesn't touch your bank account. It doesn't touch your mood. You cheer, and you move on. You still remember what it was like. The deposit at 2 a.m. The parlay that was supposed to fix everything. The lie to your partner about the overdraft. The night you sat in a parking lot with nothing left and nowhere to go. You carry those memories like a map of somewhere you'll never drive again. You know that addiction doesn't negotiate. It waits. And you outlasted it. Not with one good day. With 1,000 ordinary ones stacked together until ordinary became the thing you were most grateful for. You wake up on a regular morning, and your phone has a weather app and a calendar and nothing else. You get up, you breathe, you start your day. You built something no one can see, and it holds.